And you are Javin Austin Meadows?
Yes, sir.
Is it Javin or Jevin?
Javen.
Javen. Javen, all right, thank you. Defendant is charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, strangulation, and a forfeiture of the alleged victims, or the alleged victims been notified of the hearing and have an opportunity to be present.
They have, Your Honor. 2 of the 3 victims have elected not to attend today. They have all been consulted in this case. They understand. They all agreed to the disposition.
Mr. Meadows is going to plead guilty to counts 1 and 4. Is that correct, Mr. O'Dye?
That's correct.
All right. A charge of murder, an unclassified felony carrying a mandatory sentence of 15 years to life and a fine of $15,000. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay. And for the record, the victim in that case was?
William Grooms.
All right, thank you. And as to count 4, which alleges that on or about May 31, 2026 in Highland County, Ohio, you did cause or attempt to cause physical harm to a V2 by means of a deadly weapon or dangerous ordinance, to wit a F-150 truck. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Anything you'd like to present?
Just a few things very quickly, Your Honor. I'm sure the court, obviously from your experience, understands that counts 1 and 2 of the indictment would have merged. They're charged in the alternative. That is part of how we came up with the agreement that we came up with. The other part of how we came up with the agreement that we came up with is simply that victims 2 and 3 in this case, Jada Davis and then the final victim in the case, were extremely understanding and wanted to get this behind them. The reason that we were able to handle this case so quickly, so efficiently, is definitely the work of Detective Butler, who put a huge case together with 3 victims and a lot of moving parts in a very short amount of time, and had all the evidence ready to present to the defense as soon as the case was indicted. So we do appreciate that. There is a family here that is left without their loved one. Miss Grooms is here. The actions of this young man on the day in question left her a widow at a very, very young age. And I know that she would like to address the court.
All right, Mrs. Groom.
Javen, you took the act that I will never forget. That early Sunday morning, you took away my husband, my best friend, my kids, all over your actions. Now we have to learn to live without him. My husband didn't deserve this. My husband and son had stayed with girlfriend and ex-girlfriend that night. But you choose to get in that truck and head straight for my husband and hit him. Now we have to call him our hero. You didn't have to do what you did. You could have easily took your truck the opposite way and controlled your actions. It just shows what kind of person you are. Thank you.
And I did read the affidavit from the municipal court. It was my understanding that Mr. Grooms was just a bystander, happened to be there at the time this was taking place. No
Yes.
previous contact between he and the victim that you're aware of.
Well, he was the victim. No contact with the defendant, didn't know who he was at all. There is crystal clear video of this incident, actually. Probably the best video I've seen in 20 plus years. Mr. Grooms and his son Carson are leaving Holtfield. They see what's taking place in the parking lot. They both jump out, leave their doors open, and run over to assist Jada. At that point, the defendant jumps in his truck, makes a very short turn, and just runs over Mr. Grooms and kills him.
There's no words to describe what Jada did that night. I mean, he wrecked the lives of the Grooms family. And that night, he wrecked his own life, his own family's life, and he caused, if not wrecking Jada Davis's life, he's caused significant turmoil that will take years to heal. But he's a young man. He has never been in any kind of trouble. He's 23 years old. Other than this just one bad evening, he was an exemplary citizen. He worked for the Hague Motors for 4 years. Was a service tech there, making $22 an hour. Now, none of that can really be solace to the Grooms family for what he did to you. and how he has truly wrecked your family. But this is a young man who I believe he's sincere when he and I would talk. And I've been down to jail a half dozen times to see him. He's a young man who I believe is sincere about rehabilitating himself, never touching alcohol again. I believe alcohol was a real contributing factor in this. His ex had just called off their wedding, and inappropriately, some buddies took him out, and he was drowning his sorrows and using alcohol as a crutch to get through that heartbreak when he did these horrible acts. We would ask the court to go along with this joint recommendation. He's here. He's admitting all of what he did, and he's willing to take responsibility for his actions, even though it's not going to help the Groom's family or bring Mr. Groom's back. In light of this tragedy, he has done everything to make it as easy on everybody, to own up to what he did, and I believe he's going to be a model inmate.
I'd like to apologize for my actions. Very selfish. I don't really got much else to say besides I'm sorry. I did not mean to do what I did. I'm owning up to what I did. I can't bring him back, so that's all I have to say.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's all.
Mr. Dye, any other information or?
No, Your Honor.
There's real tragedy here that's being caused by, in my judgment, an act of uncontrollable rage. Alcohol may have been a factor, but I will say this: I've been around for a long time now, over 50 years in this business, and I see people that are alcoholics and abuse alcohol all the time. Sometimes people say, well, alcohol causes people to do things they wouldn't otherwise do. Others say, and I think maybe there's some truth to that, is that it unmasks who they really are and removes their inhibitions to doing things. In this case, you went into an uncontrollable rage. A lot of people get drunk and just pass out. They become sad. They become jokers. They think lovers. Other people, engage in.
Javon Austin Meadows pleaded guilty to murder and other serious charges after a deadly incident involving a Ford F-150 truck. According to the prosecution, William Grooms was at the scene when Meadows got into his truck, made a quick turn, and struck Grooms, killing him. Prosecutors said there was clear video of the incident. Groom's wife gave an emotional statement in court, saying Meadows' actions took her husband away and left the family to live without him. She told the defendant that he could have controlled his actions and avoided what happened. The defense asked the judge to follow a joint sentencing recommendation, explaining that Meadows was only 23, had no previous criminal record, and that alcohol and a recent breakup contributed to his emotional state. Meadows then apologized to the court and said he took responsibility for what he had done, admitting that nothing he said could bring the victim back. The judge called the case a tragedy caused by uncontrollable rage. He then sentenced Meadows to a mandatory 15 years to life in prison on the murder charge, plus a minimum 3-year term on another count, to run concurrently. The judge emphasized that the consequences of Meadows' actions would remain with the victim's family and everyone affected by the tragedy. Meadows was then remanded into custody.
Prison term for either of the offenses committed as part of the course of conduct would adequately reflect the seriousness of the offender's conduct.
After the preliminary hearing, Judge Randolph ordered that the sheriff's office go take all the firearms out of the defendant's home. They did that. They've been holding them ever since. I put in the entry, if this is okay, that all the firearms being held by the sheriff's office, and there's 10 of them, be released to the defendant's father now.
Okay, that's fine to me. I mean, there's those charge pending. I assume you have no objection.
No objection.
Right. And who is the father? What's the father's name?
Chris Meadows.
I'm sorry?
Chris Meadows.
All right, go ahead and put that in the entry then.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're remanded custody.
Hey, Rob.